This is a clip from the Red Cow Arcade podcast.
I had always been aware that the GBA release of Mario 3, confusingly called Mario Advance 4. Why the fuck did they do that?
Well, there was Super Mario Advance 2, Super Mario World, right? And then there was Super Mario Advance 3, which was Yoshi's Island, and then Super Mario Advance 4 was
Mario
Super
3.
Mario 3.
The game is called Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. That's what the game is called. How hard would it have been to just call it Super Mario Brothers 3 Advance?
Yeah, they couldn't
simple.
do it. And then, yeah.
And to make matters more confusing, it's an enhanced port of the enhanced port for the SNES. So it's like you might consider it the ultimate edition of Mario 3. You could, or if you like the new sound samplings and some of the new animations they put in, that sort of thing. Bigger sprites, different aspect ratio, because the GBA is a bit wide. It's not 16:9, but it's a bit wider than 4:3. Mm. So you could. It's perfectly reasonable to prefer it to the SNES All-Stars version of Mario 3. But I had always been aware of the fact that the GBA had this kind of not used, largely unadopted e-reader where you could watch, well, wasn't the e-reader used to watch Shrek, for instance?
No, it's a little bit different. It was a scanner that you hooked up into your GBA, and it read barcodes on cards. So what you could do, I had this by the way, and I had Super Mario 3, Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario 3. I had that, and I had this, and I was able to connect them, and I did scan all the levels. So, but if you just had the e-reader, you had it in your system, and you could actually like get Donkey Kong. I think it was Donkey Kong. And you could like scan like 4 cards or whatever, and it would have all the data in the barcodes for Donkey Kong, because it's like, it's only like a few like kilobytes or whatever. Yeah. And you can actually have that information in a barcode apparently. And
yeah,
it's like this weird thing. And then it would load it into that card reader in its temporary memory, and you could play the game for a while.
What I heard was, well, first of all, so in the case of Mario 3, one of the big selling, or what they were trying to make a selling point for the e-reader was get the e-reader and then get a bunch of cards from various sources. Some were from Nintendo directly, some were like with pre-orders. You had to cobble them together. There was no one place to get them.
You could get booster packs at the mall too. You could go just get like you were getting Pokemon cards or Magic cards. You'd get a booster pack, and it would have the cards. That's I believe. So by
loading into memory, you could do things like you could give Mario the flight cape from Mario World in Mario 3, but then there were also, I don't know exactly how many levels, but many extra stages that that you could just play in Mario 3 style that were made by Nintendo. They were actually like official release. It's like almost like a weird sequel to Mario 3.
Yeah, it's like DLC. It's like if they made DLC, but they sold it to you in a card.
And a bunch of cards that were hard to get a hold of. And I also heard that to load them in this particular case, I don't know if this is true, but you would have had to have the link cable, 2 GBAs, one with the reader, one with the game.
Correct.
That's how you would have had to do it.
It wasn't unheard of at that point in time for people to have multiple GBAs, because I did. You had, because they already released the Game Boy SP at that time, so a lot of people had extra GBAs around, or if your brother had a GBA.
Well, the point is they're I think even in the ROM community, there hadn't really been a packaged release of all those extra stages. And what I didn't realize until I came across a video on YouTube about it was that in 2016 on the Nintendo shop for Wii U, they released a version of Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3, with all of the levels intact, the whole thing. And so in some ways it's kind of the ultimate release of it. And so I bought it for $5, $6, I think it was actually $7, because the Wii U shop is still available for now. And first of all, I fell back in love with this gamepad, this Wii U gamepad. It's so nice. And
yeah, it's very comfortable.
The GBA game looks amazing on it. I don't know what it is, but I've never had a better GBA experience than on the Wii U gamepad. Like better than TV, certainly better than Switch, certainly better than my Ambernick devices. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money to upscale the Game Boy Player on the GameCube to upscale GBA games. And then, but the Wii U Game Boy games look like better than that. They're perfect.
I was really enjoying it. And yeah, it's just having played the Switch for a while, I really do think the ergonomics of the Wii U gamepad for my hands anyway is superior. I know it's a lower resolution screen, especially when we compare it to the OLED, but there's just something about it, at least for retro games, that really sings for me. So I looked into it, and somebody took that Wii U release ROM and patched the original ROM, and so now it is available I put it on my Ambernick device, put it on the arcade one up, so you can totally play it other places. The levels are presented, like you say, it's like DLC, but it reminded me a lot of, if you've played the 100 Nintendo release levels for Super Mario Maker 2, the ones that they made and released, it's presented in exactly that same format, which is like you just are presented with a giant list of levels, and you can play them and get certain achievements in them and stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. No, I remember having a lot of good times with that one.
Yeah. So I recommend it. If you can,
because I had all the cards.
If you have a Wii U and you were looking, and it's collecting dust and you were looking to get a little bit more value out of it, I would recommend maybe seeing what else is on there. Let us know, like, what should we download on the Wii U shop before it goes away. But then if you're also just an emulator person.
Yeah, I remember when the Wii shop went down, I downloaded a bunch of stuff that I made sure to have before it went away.
I have a question on that same topic. So now that I took your advice and I'm on Verizon and I got unlimited data and I have your Switch Lite, and so whenever I need to connect the Switch to the internet, I can do it with my phone temporarily to pass like the game check or whatever. What is going to happen when there is no game check anymore, when servers for the Switch are down? How will I play my digital download of games?
I don't know.
Will they stop doing a check, like a license check?
My hope, which who knows with Nintendo, is that they just keep it going. I feel like it should be like Apple at this point, where you get a new iPhone, your apps transfer, you get a new Switch, you have to. That's what like with the PlayStation, you still have all your PlayStation Network games or whatever.
So you're saying like whatever the next generation console is, the same servers that are serving those licenses for Switch will serve the licenses for the next generation and the next generation. So it won't matter what. That would be the
ideal, but Nintendo, who knows? Because I still have bought Super Mario 6 times by this point.
I did, having not bought anything on the Wii U in a while. When I did it, I then went back to my Switch and downloaded something, and it was like, "Hey, we noticed you have a Wii U account. Do you want to merge those?"
Oh,
so it was trying some kind of consolidation effort on Nintendo's part.
I know they did do some of that with the Wii U era. They were like, "Oh, well, if you already bought the Super Nintendo version or the Virtual Console on Wii, you can upgrade for $1 to the HD version or whatever." They did some of that in the Wii, but it was done in a really Nintendo way where it was kind of janky. You still have 2 IDs or whatever, and I
kind of forgive it all because it was a janky era. It was the first time anybody was doing any of this stuff, but now it should. Yeah, you're right. They ought to have this down with the Switch. Yeah. I think future generations of Nintendo consoles should all take on very similar qualities to the Switch. Like if from this point on they were just Switch 1, Switch 2, Switch 3, Switch 4, I think that's probably best for them.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. Just like people don't have a problem with PlayStation 5, 6, 7, 8,
yeah. Just iterate on the Switch because it's kind of the perfect concept.
Yeah.
I like my Wii U and all, but I like my 2 Switches now as well.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.